Okay, here we are, chapter 13, mixed exercise, doing all the pass and EP questions through the exercise. So, integration. Question 4 is where we are starting. Okay, and it says, given that y is equal to x plus 1 and 2x minus 3, all divided by the square root of x, find the integral of y. Okay, so something like that, if this was second year, I would probably jump straight into something like the quotient rule, look at a division on it. But since we don't have the quotient rule available to us, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of multiplication to do first. So let's multiply this out, and we're going to get 2x squared. What's that? Plus 2x minus 3x. So, what? Minus x. And 1 times that is minus 3. Okay? All over x to the half. Okay? Because that's the square root raised to the power. Alright, so as you come up here, we can make that into 2x, and remember, when you're dividing on the powers, you end up with 2 minus a half, so we end up with 1.5. So that's going to be, I tell you what, we'll write it out like this: minus a half minus x, 1 minus a half, minus 3 times x to the power of minus a half. Okay, now let's quickly write this all out in one long thing. So 3 over 2 on that one, minus x and a half, minus 3x to the minus a half. Okay, now we can do the integral of it. So the integral of that, 2x 3 over 2 minus x over half minus 3x minus a half. Okay, integral of y, so the integral of y dx is equal to, so integration, we raise the power by 1 and divide by the new power. So as we raise this by 1, it goes to 5 over 2, so we've got x 5 over 2, and the 2, and we are going to be dividing by the 3 over 2, minus, right, x 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2, I've written that as a 5, 3, not a 5, I should say. Okay, tidy that up. All right, divided by that, brilliant, minus 3, now that becomes x to the half, being divided by a half. Okay, so a bit of tidying up needed on all of that. So as we divide by that, basically we're going to flip the fraction round, so we're going to be 2 times 2 divided by 5, so we end up with 4x 5 to the 2 over 5 minus 2x 3 to the 2, you see the 3 over 2 here swapping over, here it is 2 over 3, minus, and again this one flips over, 2 times 3 is 6 over 1, x to the half equals the integral of y dx. Okay, and then with that a plus c, because it's not a defined integral. Should have had a plus c on that one as well, actually. Okay, so that's question 4 out of the way. Jumping straight in to question 5. Given that dx over dt, so the differential of, is equal to t plus 1 squared. Okay, and we are told that x equals 0 and t equals 2. Okay, find the value of x. Find x when t is equal to 3. So basically we're going to integrate this whole equation, use these two values 0 and 2 to work out the plus c, and once we've got that we can then put t into the equation of x to find out x. So if we take the integral of both sides, now the integral of dx by dt will equal x. Okay, is equal to, I'm going to multiply this out, so we get t squared minus 2t plus 1 dx is equal to, and now doing the integral of that, we do t to the power 3 divided by the new power minus 2t squared over 2, that's going to be cancelling, plus x plus c. X is 0, t is equal to 2. So now that we know that x is 0 when t equals 2, we can start substituting that in. Minus 2, cancel the 2's here, so I'm just going to have 2 squared. Okay, this is the 2 of the t that we are substituting in here, by the way. Okay, don't know why I've written that as an x. Lots of mistakes coming in today. Because you're normally doing it in respect to x, and so you can just get used to writing it. So plus 2 plus c, and so now we can start moving all of that around to find out what the c value is. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 divided by 3, so we're going to have minus 8 over 3 when you bring it to the other side. That's a 4 plus 4 minus 2 equals c. Therefore, c is equal to, and sometimes with these, after doing so much, it's definitely worth using a calculator to do some of the basic arithmetic, because that's where I see so many mistakes happen. Okay, so minus 2/3. So now that we've got that, we can write out the equation, which is x equals, what was the first bit? There it is, t cubed over 3 minus t squared plus t, and it's a minus 2/3, and they want us to find out what the x is when t is equal to 3. So x equals 3 to the third divided by 3 minus 3 squared plus 3 minus 2/3 equals, and again into a calculator with all of that in just one go, so that it's just done nice and quickly. 3 squared plus 3 minus 2/3. There we are, 7/3. 7/3. Okay, I think that's all it needed. Good. Now on to question 6. It's always disappointing when you check the answers and then you discover that you've made a mistake, and the mistake in this case, t plus 1 squared, is not t squared minus 2t plus 1, it is plus 2t, which is going to change the value of a constant, because as it comes over here it means we get a minus 4 in there. Okay, not entirely sure how I did that, but whatever, we did it. So we just take the mistake and you just work on it. Minus 4 minus 2 should give us minus 26 over 3. Now then, minus 26 over 3, which is 8 2/3. Okay, so minus 26 2/3. Don't forget that's a plus now. Right then, What does that change this all to then? 3 squared plus 3 squared. Nope, that's still a minus, but it's a 26. So let's just put that last one back into there. And so we end up with, what is it? 3 to the power 3. Okay, divided by 3. Okay, that's not how you put it into a calculator. Over 3. What is it? Plus 3 squared plus 3 minus 26 over 3. Okay, 37 over 3, 37 over 3, which is 12 and a third, which I'm pretty certain does match the answers at the back of the book. Yes, it does. Okay, so definitely watch out for plus and minus signs as you go through. No problem though. Right, question 6 then. Let's have a look. Question 6. Given that y to the power of a half is equal to x to the power of a third plus 3, show that y equals x to the 2/3 plus ax to a third plus b, where a and b are constants to be found. Okay, so y to the half, right, so y to the half is a square root of y, so we need to square it. Now the common mistake here is you get x 2/3 and you get 3 being 9, you square it up, but what you need to see is that to get rid of this you actually do 9 to the power of a half and you square that side, and you also do x to the third plus 3 and you square that side. You square everything at once. This does just give you y, which is what we need. Okay, x to the third times x to the third is x to the 2/3. Okay, and then we get plus 3x to the third plus 3x to the third plus 9. Okay, which then gives us x to the 2/3 plus 6x to the third plus 9, meaning a equals 6 and b equals 9. And to save any mistakes, yep, it's in there. Okay, and hence find the integral of y. So the integral of y with respect to dx is equal to the integral of all of this. 2/3 plus 6x to the third plus 9. So again, we increase it by 1, so that's going to be an extra 3 on there, so it's going to be 5. Okay, so x to the 5 over 3 being divided by 5 over 3 is the same as being multiplied by 3 over 5. Okay, plus 6x to the third, 6x to the 4/3 when you add 1 onto it, meaning we are now multiplying by a 3 on top and dividing by a 4 on the bottom, plus 9x plus c. Any tidying up to do in that, just this little bit here, so we end up with 3x 5 to the third over 5 plus 18 over 4 is 9 over 2. 3 6 is 18, okay, so 9x to the 4 over 3 over 2 plus 9x, that's a terrible 9, plus c, okay, is equal to your integral of y, which I believe is the same as what they've got in the back of the book. Yes. Alright, finish it there for this video and we'll get on with the other questions. questions soon.